Okay, this video is designed to help guide you through Canvas for PCC electronics classes. Even though the content may look a little bit different, the steps are going to be the same for you. Note that you can use your phone to look at announcements and check grades in Canvas. However, it's going to be a lot easier to use a computer to access Canvas, as you'll have much more content to look at on the screen. So first, you want to go to the main PCC website, which you're looking at here. Okay, and then you want to, that's www.pasadena.edu. Then you're going to click on Login up on the top and log into Canvas. Okay, at this point what you're going to see is what is called the dashboard. The dashboard is basically a display of all of your different classes and what courses you want to navigate to. In this case, I'm going to navigate to this one called OTC Sandbox, which is just an example of an electronics course. If I click on that, I'm going to get what is called the course navigation window. This has a lot of information on it, but the main thing that you're going to want to look at is what I've got laid out here in the middle. Underneath this little logo for the class, I have what is called the course navigation points here. So you want to start with the syllabus, which is shown on the left-hand side here. These blue tabs are going to be the ones that we're going to be looking at. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch to student view, and you're going to see this kind of very bright purple bar on the bottom. But this is going to give you a view that makes it look like what you see as opposed to what I see. So I might have to kind of go back and forth between these. Okay, so the first thing you're going to look at is the syllabus. And if I click on syllabus, it gives you all the information, the primary information for the class. It's very important that you read through this. I'm sorry it's a little bit long, but there's a lot of important information here. Who I am, my email, a short introduction here. There are no required textbooks for the classes that I'm teaching, but this shows you some listed references if you want to purchase any materials. It talks a little bit about course units, which we'll be talking about shortly. And then some expectations and other information, things like holidays, software, and so forth, including learning outcomes. At the very bottom, I have a tentative schedule of all the things that we're going to be covering in the class. So that is basically the syllabus that you'll need to look at. Now, if you go to the very bottom of the screen, there's also what is called a course summary. And this will usually list what assignments are due and their due dates. So for example, this assignment, Get to Know Your Class, is going to be due on Friday, August 8th by 11:59 p.m. Almost all the assignments that I will give you will be due at 11:59 p.m., which is right before midnight. Okay, so we go back to the home button. The next thing we have here is what are called modules. Modules, this is where you're going to be spending most of your time looking at the content for the class. Okay, if you click at on this button, modules, or this tab, it is going to give you a lot of information as far as the sequence of what the class is going to cover. So if I click on modules, you'll see that there's a module here called Introduction and Orientation. And then there are other units that you'll be looking at, which are content units. These units are going to be typically subjects. For example, for electronics, we might cover Ohm's law, switches, different components, etc. So if we click on this welcome video, you're going to see the welcome video, which I actually have sent out this week. So this is going to be something you've probably seen already. You'll notice that towards the bottom of the screen, there's a next button for all of these modules. If I click next here, it'll take you to the next page. And this is introduction, first steps. It'll ask you to review the syllabus, and then there's going to be an orientation assignment. It gives you a little bit of course detail information, and then other resources for DSPS. If you've never used Canvas before, if you haven't had an online class, there's some good information here. Now, if you look on the bottom, there's a previous button and a next. These are just navigating to either the previous screen, in this case, which was a welcome video, or going to the next page. Okay. And this is what you're seeing here is what you're actually watching. This is the Canvas orientation video. So if you want to review this is a good point to navigate to. Next point in modules is going to policies. This is important for you to read through to understand the policies for the class as far as drops, what is important to do the first week, topics like plagiarism, cheating, late work policies, etc. So make sure you navigate through all of that. And then we have an assignment. In this case, this is a discussion assignment. We probably won't be doing too many discussions in this class this semester, but we'll have a few. And in this case, it would be, you could read through the instructions for this, click on reply to the assignment, and then they're going to be replying to other posts. All of that information is here on this page. So this is an example of a typical assignment you would do in a module. And then finally, at the very end, there's a little end caption here that says end of orientation, and then it'll show you what we covered in the class. So that is a typical module. This is an introduction module for orientation. Okay, if we go back to home, okay, we covered syllabus so far, modules, announcements. Probably if you've ever had an online class before, you've seen announcements. So in this case, announcements are going to be sent out. Typically, I'll send them out each week towards the end of the week to show you what you'll see the following week in the class. Sometimes if there are certain circumstances, changes to the class, then you'll see announcements come in. Something that's very important here is that if you go to your account and go to notifications, oh, I got to get out of the student view, sorry. If you go to account notifications, you'll see that one of the most important things are notification preferences. What this does is it says what information will be pushed out to you. For example, if I send an announcement, if you don't have these activated, you will not get any announcement via email or your phone. So, for example, the most important one probably are announcements. You can include your phone number. You can add that under your profile setting. Under your settings, rather. Okay, or you can add your contact information here. Okay, so you can select what information is sent. Usually I have announcements. If there are due dates, other information, you can choose what announcements or information you get pushed out to your cell phone or to your email, and that's really handy. Okay, if we go back to courses here, go back to dashboard, go back to the sandbox, our first page here, the welcome page. The next thing I want to talk about is ConferZoom. Okay, that's just PCC's version of Zoom. So I'm assuming you probably used Zoom before, unfortunately. Not that it's a bad program, but we'd obviously much rather be face-to-face. But in this case, we can use Zoom, and it's a little bit different, but if you go to ConferZoom, it'll typically list where the meetings are, when they're happening. It'll show you a schedule. So all of those events are going to be typically, I'll have office hours or sometimes one-on-one meetings with you during the semester. And finally, grades. That's where you can check to see your grades for the class. Okay, so that's basically most of the information that's important for you to know for navigating the class. There is other information here on the right side. As far as if you wanted to look at some other information here, in the student view, I'm trying to see what there is. Yeah, you have your to-do list, which shows you what assignments are coming up. That's really nice. And then you can look at a course calendar to see when dates are due or when assignments are due, etc. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you navigate Canvas. I'm trying to set up all my classes the same, so again, the content will look a little bit different, but all of the information should be here to help you get through it. So looking forward to seeing you in the class.